Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How are you today? How you doing? Grab your coffee, maybe some tea, definitely a snack. We got some stuff to talk about. These are emails that people have sent in. This is our in the trenches, on the front lines. This is what people are seeing, experiencing with daily life. Okay? So, this first email comes in from a community member, and she says, I've come up with a theory. Oh boy. When you brainstorm and you listen to your gut, generally you're right. Okay? I've come up with a theory about all this excess nitrogen that people are blaming on our cattle industry. I think it was at least back in the 80s, maybe earlier, our food industry started pumping nitrogen into our packaged foods like chips, coffee, nuts, popcorn, snacks, fresh meats, lunch meats, salad mixes, lettuce, pre-cut apples, carrot sticks, bacon, sausage, emergency food rations, berries, frozen foods, even wine bottles. They pumped the nitrogen and to push the air out of the packages. I'd be willing to bet every day people open way more packages and release all this nitrogen into our atmosphere compared to herds of farting cows. She's right. How many times do we open up a package of whatever it may be, or we give our kids like the little snack size packs of the chips or whatever in their lunches when they're at school? We've always had nature and animals on Earth, but in the past, we did not have all this packaged food that floods our atmosphere with nitrogen. Been wondering how to get my theory out there and maybe get to point the finger at what I believe is more the major cause of excess nitrogen. What do you think? I think you're onto something. I really do. Sounds more reasonable to you? Yeah, it does. We've had animals on this planet for millions of years. Never any trouble. Never. Until. She said, think they always need to point the finger and blame someone else for things that they have actually caused. Right. You're so right. You are so right. So, on to this email. And this community member wrote in and she said, hi, Bug. Late at night, over a year ago. Bug, what you doing? I saw two silent drones with flashing red lights passing over a cow pasture that is behind my fairly isolated house in the country. I involuntarily said, "Whoa," and the lights went out. What? At the time, I thought it might be the government mapping, surveilling the fields. Within 2 weeks, I saw a steady red light right outside my kitchen window. I shut the front door. Are you serious? I then began to shut my curtains at night, and lately I keep all my curtains shut all day long too. Full spectrum bulbs help. Drones and satellites can see through walls and can locate caches of various types of metals. Perhaps it's better to use clear plastic vacuum bags after all. Take care, Tuts. Shh. Wait a minute. Now you got my brain is going now. My brain is going now. Okay, so on to this. This community member wrote in and she said, let people know if they are close to a rural area. Have them check into direct sale of eggs, beef, etc. from a local acreage and small farms. Many have extra they can sell. I would help them out because, it would help them out because chicken food, livestock food is through the roof. Chicken feed has sometimes up to doubled in the last 4 months. Yeah, I know, I've heard that. My nephew has 2 ducks, and he buys the big, is it 40-pound bag of livestock feed for the ducks, and are you trying to re-pierce my ears, son? And he said that the price has gone up significantly, and he's 18, and he's only got a part-time job, and he's like, so we've been helping him out. Yeah. She said, what I used to buy earlier this year at $10 for a 50-pound bag is now $18 for 40 pounds. Yeah, that's exactly what Zachary's been paying. And that is why eggs are so expensive. Also, you can preserve unwashed eggs by using liquid sodium silicate, SILICATE, or canning lime water. They can Google it for a recipe. Have folks take to their golden age folks for the old ways. Oh, talk to their golden age folk. Yeah. I wish my grandparents were still here. I really do. They are a wealth of information, and like me, grew up preserving food. Yeah. Okay, so here is an update. Well, not really an update, more of an explanation of why the gates are at Kroger. Those automated gates only open into the store, not if you're trying to exit them. The actual exits are near self-scan and traditional checkout lines. It's simply a deterrent from people shoplifting from trying to exit through an entrance. Sure, a person could jump them, but it's something to help stop shoplifting and the cost of it getting passed onto the consumer. Thank you for that. Okay. So I'm going to put up a picture, and this community member, she said, we've had an inordinate amount of rain in Northwest Florida this summer. Look at what happened to my 9-year-old building. And my blackberry bush leaves are turning red and dying off. Conspiracy theory? I guess we'll find out someday. Huh. I've noticed that my blackberry bushes and my grapevines, they died off much earlier than normal. They would normally flourish until October because, I live here in Tampa Bay, and they're already dead, and that's not normal. So there's something going on that's not normal. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so these pictures were sent in to me, and I actually have the link to the video as well. I saw this and I said, my Lord, this is terrible. This was sent in from a community member who lives in Burbank, California. And she said, look at this insanity in a local store near her. And what's sad is this is only going to get worse as times get worse. Get ready, praying and prepping. Now, this was, I believe it was a 7-Eleven, okay? And literally a flash mob of people. The 7-Eleven was like near an intersection. And they parked all of their cars and blocked the intersection, okay? So no cars could get in or whatever, and no cops could get in or whatever. And they all jumped out, and they ran into this 7-Eleven store and literally stole, like, just about everything out of the store. And there was customers standing at the counter, and they were like, what's going on? And even the clerk, he was like, I don't know what to do. I mean, it was literally, there was hundreds of these people, and they ran in, and it was terrible. And I watched the video, and it was just and then one of the people, it was a man of the flash mob, he was like throwing things, like chucking things at the clerk, and it was like, what the hell are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish here? You are a moron. So the link will be in the description box below, but here's 2 pictures that she sent in so you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about. Okay, so this community member wrote in and she said she's a homeschooling mom. And she said, I just got back online, been busy homeschooling again. And she said, it's hard to believe that most schools now have to have see-through backpacks. We're not at that point yet, but do your school, because we don't have these yet, but we do have resource officers, like actual sheriff's deputies at our schools, but we don't have like, what do they call it? Like metal detectors or anything like that in our schools. But this is a way that they don't have to have like metal detectors. I do know that from growing up in Atlantic City. You know what I mean? But yeah, the see-through backpacks. And she said, and a see-through lunch bag. Yeah. I do remember this from when I was, living up in New Jersey and everything. Yeah, it was terrible. And she said, and if you don't have a see-through bag, they search you. And it's almost like you feel like you're a criminal. It's like, seriously? I'm a kid. But you know what I mean? I got to take into consideration all like the school shootings and stuff like that. And yeah, I get it. But, I remember having to have a see-through, like if I wanted to bring a purse, because, you're a girl, whatever, you have personal things you have to, and it was a see-through zipper bag, and it's just like, how intrusive, you're going to have tampons and everything else, and it's like, but yeah, I do remember that, and it's like, and she said, I'm just thankful I homeschool, got to get back into prepping, was like, I was in a funk for a while. You hit that place in your prepping lifestyle. I get it. I've been there, and you're just like, what more could I possibly buy that I don't already have, that I already have a year of this and a year of that and a year of this and a year of that, and there's nothing new at the grocery store, and yeah, believe me, I've hit that, and you're just like, you're in a frump and you're like, I can't, yeah. Believe me, I've been there. She said, I just got to get busy with life, I guess. I got the same square frying pan. Oh, it's a square frying pan. Yeah, I love that damn thing. Found that at Ross, I think. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, believe me, yeah, I get it. I really do. So this community member wrote in, and she's from Australia, and she said, I just got done watching the second part of the executive order of 14067, and she said, it's true what you're saying. How do you prep for that? We can't. I've been talking to Trish on the phone like every day, and I'm like, we're going to be doing a live, and it's just, you know, with her schedule and my schedule, it's so conflicting. It's hard to, you know, for us to find a middle ground so we can do a live together. You know what I mean? So, but we are going to try and do a live for you guys. And she said, how do you prep for that? I'm at a loss. I have a stockpile, extensive. I have cash on hand, lots of it. I have silver. Yeah, because, you know, you want to have like the silver, and you want to have the gold, and you want to have this, because if cash is going to literally be just like flipping toilet paper, it may not be, you know, worthless right away, but it's going to dwindle down to where it's going to be worthless at a point. You know, it's not going to be worthless on December 13th. It's not going to happen that way, but it will dwindle down to where it will be worthless. You know, will silver and gold still hold their weight in water? I don't know. Nobody knows, you know? So what do? Well, do you have other assets? Do you have land? Do you own your home? Do you have a car? Do you have hard assets? I think that could be the way to go. But if this Agenda 2030 is accelerating the way that we know that it is, and it's going to hit in 2025, you know, that you will own nothing and be happy. It's like shite, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to own nothing and be happy, well, what about all of my hard assets and all the land that I have, my house that I have, my RV that I have, my car that I have, and this that I have, and that you know what I mean? Because a lot of us, we invest in real estate, you know, as a means of income, you know, because I know a lot of you are landlords. So what's going to happen with all of that? You know, this is the way that my brain works, and I know that this is the way that your brain works, you know, so believe me, because when I get these emails, it's like, all right, well, you know, let's try and figure this out. Hang on. I'm trying to eat my orchid that I've kept alive since Mother's Day. So she said, it seems that all of it will be worthless ultimately. Oh my God. I'm a bit like you in that. What do we do now? I guess I'm a little blank, really. Yeah, my brain has literally not shut off since I've really been digging into this and going down that rabbit hole. And I'm like, I don't have the answer. I really don't. So I've been literally picking at Trisha's brain, and she's like, you know, explaining things to me, and I'm like, man, it's like reading Chinese, you know? I mean, seriously. So yes, we are going to be doing a live. It's just trying to get our schedules to come together. Seriously. So, believe me, I know. On to this. Community member wrote in, she said, I have started doing 2 supply runs a month to stock up. On August 5th, I bought a container of oatmeal at Save-A-Lot for $3.89. Today, the prices of the same thing, $5.49. That's a huge price increase in just 2 weeks. I took a photo, then I looked back at prices, so I have a reference point. Their peanut butter is now $4.99 for the larger jar at Save-A-Lot. And Save-A-Lot is like the no frills, all right? She said you almost have to compare prices online to try to figure out where to get the best deal. Yeah, I know. Jeez. I would much rather, you know, if you can get to another store and see what like Quaker is, because I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know if it's cheaper or what. I honestly, I do all of my shopping online and have everything delivered because I'm almost at that point where I literally refuse to go to the store. I refuse. And that's sad. Yeah. So this community member wrote in, And she said, what can we do to keep our world sane? In my opinion, and this is my opinion only, okay? It's not up to us, the individual. It's not up to you as the individual or whatever to try and make this world sane. You have to keep your own world sane. And the way that I keep my world sane is I give all of my fears and my anxieties and everything to God. You know, you have to I pray to him every single night. I said, I give my fears to you, and it's worked for me. I thank him for all of my blessings and for having mercy on me, but I give all of my fears to him. That's how I stay sane. You know, she says, what if we don't want to participate in this? And she's talking about the 14067. Are they going to start with death or just come out and shoot us, you know, with the taxes now? No, that's not going to happen. She said, I think that they should leave money the way that it is and we should be able to do what we want to do. And yes, I agree with you that we are their slaves. This is looking like Revelations. I don't like that. I love our Constitution, but Potato is an idiot, and they're trampling on our rights. And I do love the Constitution, as I said, but I do not agree with the way they are doing this. None of us agree. None of us. She said, I think he needs to have his head examined because I think he's losing it. They wanted to do a cognitive on him. And they keep like running away every time. Yeah. Unfortunately, she said, I am a Democrat, but I vote with my conscience. I did not vote for Potato. Our gas is going when we need to go. That is some of the things you forgot. Buying our food, raising our food. God help us. Yeah. So, listen. Nothing is going to be normal ever again. Nothing is going to be the same ever again. Nothing. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless.